In this video, we make the final push north from Inuvik to Tuktoyaktuk, both in the Northwest Territories, Canada. Tuktoyaktuk is located about 140 kilometers north of Inuvik. The hamlet is informally called Tuk. Tuk is located on the Beaufort Sea of the Arctic Ocean at the end of the Inuvik-Tuktoyaktuk Highway. It is the only place on the Arctic Ocean that is connected by a public road to the rest of Canada. One appeal of the area is to access the remote subarctic hamlet of Tuktoyaktuk and its residents. The Inuvik-Tuk Highway is the only public road in North America where you have free, unfettered access to the Arctic Ocean without supervision. You can even set foot or swim in the Arctic Ocean in designated safe areas. This drive takes you north of the treeline and across subarctic shrub tundra. Another attraction are the Pingo ice hills that are so typical of this area. By the way, if you're interested in learning more about pingos, check out my other video entitled Pingos, What Are They? This was season 2019, episode 27. This was our third visit to Tuk, but it was the first time visit for our grandsons. Join us as we introduce our grandsons to the hamlet of Tuktoyaktuk on the Arctic Ocean. The highway going north from Inuvik is always exciting because of the landscape transitions. One of the really obvious transitions is the change in tree and shrub vegetation. That change begins with stunted trembling aspen just north of Inuvik. Further north, that changes to more obviously stunted aspen and white spruce, which become sparsely dotted across the tundra. Farther north, various types of willow appear, and the aspen and white spruce are much less abundant. Then, rather abruptly, all the tall willow shrubs and trees disappear, and all that you see is vegetation that grows close to the ground. Of course, in detail, the story of this transition is more complicated, but it is hard not to be impressed by this change, especially if this is the first time you have seen the change from taiga biome, or northern boreal forest, to subarctic tundra. One physical feature that you see as you drive north from Inuvik is the presence of many lakes. The tundra in this area is underlain by permafrost, land that is frozen for at least 2 or more consecutive years. Thermokarst lakes form when a lens or area of permafrost melts and the underlying land collapses or sinks into the basin formed by the melting permafrost. If you're interested in learning a little more about thermokarst lakes, check out my other video entitled Salt of the Earth, Bikini Salt Flats, Yukon, Canada, season 2019, episode 44. In this area, thermokarst lakes dot the landscape. This is especially obvious when you look at a satellite image from Google Earth. Just look at all those thermokarst lakes. Incidentally, the thermokarst lakes are an important habitat for a number of migratory waterfowl, like the large tundra swan. Despite being a gravel road, the Dempster and the Inuvik to Tuk highways are bucket list destinations for many different types of tourists, including cyclists. Now, cycling that gravel road would be a remarkable ride. Closer to Tuk, little isolated hills appear. These landforms are called pingos. Informally, Tuktoyaktuk is known as the land of the pingos. The Pingo Canadian Landmark Area was established in this area around Tuk to protect several of the 1,350 pingos that occur in the region. Pingos are unique Arctic landforms. A pingo is a hill that has an ice core. They form in areas of permafrost. The largest pingo in the Pingo Canadian Landmark Area is named Inuvik. Inuvik is Canada's tallest and the world's second tallest pingo. It's 49 meters or 160 feet tall, and it stretches about 300 meters or about 985 feet across its base. Historically, the Inuvialuit used pingos as a navigational tool or as a height of land from which to spot caribou on the tundra or whales offshore. A reminder, if you're looking for a little more information about pingos, check out my older video entitled Pingos, What Are They?, published in season 2019, episode 27. The link is listed in this video description. Our final stop was the hamlet of Tuktoyaktuk. When we arrived in Tuk, our first stop was the Tourist Information Center, where we paid for our campsite and received some information about local services. Then we were off to our campsite located right beside the Arctic Ocean. Simply amazing. Okay, it's July 18, and what day is it? Tuesday, July 18. And we made it to Tuktoyaktuk, and that behind Adrien and Brayden is the Arctic Ocean. It's official, there's the sign. That's where we are tonight. We're camping here tonight at the beach campsite at Tuktoyaktuk. Beautiful night, no bugs. Those coming for the day have largely gone. So we're at the spit in Tuktoyaktuk. Brayden just went out and earned his dip your toe in the Arctic Ocean badge. He says his feet look pretty white, and that has nothing to do with lack of sun. And up there's more or less where the campground is. You can't really go into the bay here because it's an area of traditional fishing, so we look but don't touch. But that's the bay that Tuktoyaktuk sits on. Very cool. Libby and I, third time here. Brayden and Adrien, first time here. So this is where people stay for the evening, to their camp or trailer or RV, whatever. Kind of hard to tell which side is which, but certainly right on the Arctic Ocean. We spent the day and evening walking around Tuk. One interesting place to visit is the local craft store, located in a home. The art items are locally made, and there is something for everyone at every price point, and of course the proceeds support the local artists. The family that runs the craft store was really welcoming and very friendly. Although we had visited Tuk in 2007 and again in 2019, this was the first time we were able to enter the sod dwelling. And what is your name?
Abraham.
Abraham. My name is Andy. Andy. Pleased to meet you, Abraham.
I got a brother named Andy.
Oh, he's a good guy then.
Oh, that's good. Oh, it's nice and cool in here.
Hello.
Hi, it's nice and cool in here.
Yeah, nice, yeah.
Oh my goodness. So what have we got here?
It's all right. That is an imitation of the river, right?
It's imitation.
All imitation.
Oh.
But Abraham showed us a traditional seal oil or blubber soapstone lamp called kulluk. The wick is made of cotton grass or dried moss. It is described as the most important article in the sod house because it provided the Arctic peoples with light and heat to melt snow, to cook, and to dry clothes during the long cold Arctic winter. Recall, we're well north of the tree line, so the only wood available was driftwood, and that was rare to find during the winter.
Did he mention to you that he's the designer and builder of this place?
He did not mention that.
Yes, yeah.
You designed it and built it.
Pardon me?
You designed this and built this yourself.
Yeah, I had 4 other people working with me.
Wow. And it's how long ago would that be?
25 years ago.
Wow.
That's far enough back.
Yeah. And do you have to add new sod put new sod on every year?
Maybe. What we didn't have to do it for the last few years. Before that, kids were always laying on the
Oh,
roof
yes.
at night.
Yeah.
So we had to put a net over it.
Yes.
And that's what part of the trick is working anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw the mesh out there,
Yeah.
You have a ground squirrel.
Ground squirrel living up there.
Yeah, there's families that stick around all over the place.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite a few.
As you walk along the shore, you will notice areas where rock and cement slabs have been placed along the shoreline. This is riprap. Unfortunately, with a changing global climate, Sea level is also rising because land-based glaciers are melting at a rate not experienced by humans, and the ocean water is expanding as it warms. Like many coastal cities and communities, Tuk is not spared from the impact of global climate change, and the riprap is an attempt to mitigate coastal erosion due to the rising sea level. We visited 2 grocery stores while in Tuk, the Northern Store and the Stanton Tuk Store. So we're here at the Northern Store in Tuk. Everything you want in your community store. Groceries, bicycles, hardware. One-stop shopping. Kitchenware, bedding. Washers, dryers, fridges. Furniture. Boots. Boots are always good in the north. It's muddy in the summer. Drugstore. Canada Post. Now in the Stanton Tuk, the other grocery store in town. It looks more traditional, but it still has hardware. Toys. Grocery stores in northern communities are always very cool. Grocery costs are high because of the remote location, but the stores are more like the general stores of the past. From snow machines to groceries, you can buy it all at one of these remote northern stores. Yeah.
Should I pour it all in at once? Okay. It's also a lot of egg though.
So Adrien's making our scrambled eggs for dinner tonight.
Do I also use the spatula? Yep.
So we're on, I guess what's kind of a beach, storm beach at Tuktoyaktuk. And over in the distance you can see at least 3 pingos. Ibiuk, I think, is one of them, the biggest in the area. I'm not sure whether it's the one on the left or the right. Bering Sea, Arctic Ocean. Just lovely tonight. There is an onshore breeze, and candidly, it is warm. And I think the color that you see in the sky is moisture. It's just hazy, hazy, hazy. There's no smoke over there. There's nothing burning over there. There's nothing to burn over there. That's the high Arctic. So it's just a fabulous beach area. There's a kind of a back view of Tuktoyaktuk. And if you have a keen eye, you might pick out 2 fluorescent red markers, and that denotes the end of the runway at Tuktoyaktuk. That's the Tuk Airport. So we're down on Ocean View, oceanfront, waiting for Grandma's kitchen to open at 8 o'clock. It's 7:22. Tide has gone out, or is going out. So we're just sort of killing time. Brayden is braving the frigid ocean water and going in for his second dip of the day. So Adrien is now preparing himself for the ultimate sacrifice. Well, you'd be best to wear your shoes, Adrien, in case there's broken glass or something there. Stick him in your pocket. So there they are. Now for contrast, here are the local kids, and they're having a great time swimming in the water. That's a total body experience. One of the revelations seen by our grandsons is that young kids drive freely around Tuk on ATVs. The spit represents an interesting habitat for a number of specialized and hardy plants that grow in this gravel spit substrate. Some of these plants are halophytes, that is, they have evolved to tolerate the saline conditions that come with growing so close to the Arctic Ocean. Grandma's Kitchen is a locally run business in Tuktoyaktuk where you can eat a home-cooked meal. It's run by Grandma Joanne Edwards Steen and her husband John Steen. The restaurant is located by the waterfront near the West Spit. It has been profiled in many YouTube videos as a place where you can sample boiled muktuk, also known as whale blubber, and that is what we did. Now, it's hard to describe the taste of muktuk, but it was very good. But I'll let the boys share their descriptions of what muktuk tasted like and the smoked whitefish. So we're sitting here at Grandma's restaurant in Tuktoyaktuk, and we just had a delicacy. We had smoked whitefish and we had muktuk. And I will leave it up to Brayden and Adrien, Brayden first, to summarize their highlights, their highlight and lowlights, and also what they thought about the muktuk and the fish. And maybe they will appear in the highlights and lowlights. Hard to say, but they don't have to.
Well, the muktuk tasted it tasted chewy, but I could never I recognize the taste by, I don't know where it's from. And I think it'll be my highlight because I can put my leg in the Arctic Ocean anytime, but it's quite hard to get whale blubber. I think my low light for the third time in a row will be mosquitoes.
They were pretty bad along the way. Okay, now I have to pass it over to Adrien. Adrien's, any comments you have, including your highlight and low light?
Well,
His cheeks off. No, he cleaned one cheek off.
Yep. The whale blubber was better than I thought it would be. Very chewy. Tasted like a lot of meats, like all together, like pork and sushi mostly. But other than that, it was really good. And the fish was all right. I liked it. It tastes like just smoke, smoked fish. That's really it. And the highlight, probably also eating the whale blubber. And the low light was probably, it was a pretty long drive again.
After our dessert at Grandma's Kitchen, we returned to our campsite to enjoy the midnight sun. The wind had come up at our oceanside campsite, so we tied down the tents to ensure they did not blow away during the night. Our grandsons enjoyed the perpetual game of throwing rocks into the ocean. Then we just sat and enjoyed the magic of the midnight sun. We have enjoyed many campsites over the years. All have something unique about them, but I think this site, on the edge of the Arctic Ocean, in Tuktoyaktuk, with our two grandsons, Brayden and Adrien, is one of the most unique and magical campsites we have had in our lifetime. So that brings us to an end of this video. If you enjoyed what you saw or learned something new, please consider liking the video or leaving a comment or subscribing to the Rambles with Robin and Ruby channel. We would appreciate that. So that's a wrap. Stay well, and we'll see you in the next video.